So in order to truly know thyself, part of this process is taking care of thyself. And thyself is a fourfold being. This is how you raise your vibration. Because whatever you are currently experiencing in life, it's all a match to your vibration. So by now, a lot of people are already familiar with the statement, you are a soul having a human experience. And if you're not, I encourage you to go do some investigation into it. But essentially, you are a soul that's chosen to manifest in this physical form of a human. And humans are fourfold beings. And when you begin to wake up and remember who you really are, a big part of this realization is the importance of balance within yourself. So when you have this inner balance, it reflects outward into your life. So the four aspects of our human being, we have the spiritual, the emotional, the physical, and the mental. Now, the spiritual, like I mentioned, each of us are a soul incarnated in a human vessel. So this is the aspect that's connected to source, to God, to the universe, to the divine, to higher consciousness. Then we have the emotional. These are your feelings, these are your emotions, which influence your behavior and your reactions. Then you have the physical, which is the body, and this includes all the biological and physiological processes. And then the mental, the mind. So this is responsible for your thoughts, cognitive functions, and your reasoning. And I'm going to go into more detail about each of these in a bit, but these four aspects work together to shape a person's overall well-being and experience in life. So this visual layout is important to know. The triangle is the representation of our planetary species and the hierarchy of our fourfold being. So it indicates the order that they should be set. All things, information, ideas, decisions, actions, behaviors, ideally were designed to flow downward from the spiritual aspect. Then you have your emotional on the left, physical on the right, and your mental is the base. So we've all heard mind, body, and soul, but it should really be said in reverse because it's actually the soul, the body, and then the mind. So if everything is in sync with your being, the spiritual will funnel to the other aspects, and then the mental will cause the action or behavior of the highest good for you. And you'll have high vibrational actions, thoughts, and reactions. So taking care of all four aspects of your being, the spiritual, the emotional, physical, and mental, it's essential for achieving balance, well-being, and fulfillment in life. So throughout human history, there has been this under acknowledgement or suppression of the spiritual aspect of our being for a bunch of different reasons. A few being like a focus on survival and materialism. There was the rise of organized religion. You had scientific rationalism, cultural and political control, and then just general fear of the unknown. But now is the time for us to make the shift to allow the spiritual aspect to move to the forefront so that the rest of our being, emotional, physical, and mental, can all be in sync with our true nature, which is love. So when you do take care of all four aspects, you create harmony and balance in your life. You are better equipped to handle stress, maintain happiness, and grow as a person. Like you will literally begin to play a different version of this game called life. So you'll be getting so much information, inspiration, guidance that will all help you to remember who you are and what you came here in this lifetime to do. So in order to truly know thyself, part of this process is taking care of thyself. And thyself is a fourfold being. So taking care of your fourfold being, this is how you raise your vibration. Because whatever you are currently experiencing in life, it's all a match to your vibration. So what you perceive outside of you is a reflection of what's going on inside. So your internal thoughts and feelings lead to your external actions. So at a high vibration now, you attract things and people and experiences that match, that are also high vibrational, and you're gonna make choices that are good for you. You'll treat others better and you'll look and feel better. So the higher you vibrate, the closer you are to the frequency of love. And that's our goal. You are priming and upgrading your human vessel so you can tap into the power that you've always possessed. And then you're playing an entirely different game. Instead of allowing life to sweep you along, you become an active player, and then eventually a game master. You are remembering that you are a creator. So since we are creators, we are constantly creating what we experience in life by projecting what is going on within. So a high vibe being equals a high vibe life experience. So in this process of remembering all this and making the conscious choice to prioritize caring for all four aspects, there is this shift that occurs. Your spirit moves to the forefront, and then you begin to co-create with the universe more consciously and easily. So this is where you have conscious manifestation. And you'll have access to information, receive guidance easily, and strengthen your intuitive abilities. You'll be able to kick lower vibrations out and be more receptive to high vibe messages and advice. You'll be able to easily bounce back from whatever is thrown at you, and you'll perceive yourself as the divine being that you truly are. You'll be able to shift to any reality you choose and perceive more than meets the eye. And it's easier to accept everyone and everything as they are. Your life just becomes easier and more enjoyable, and people are going to want to know what you're doing. So you can tell them, I'm just taking care of my fourfold being. So in order to unlock all of this, we'll be taking self-inventory. We'll be clearing some things out, healing, putting routines and habits in place, and following the breadcrumbs from Source and our spirit team. But there's nothing you're going to have to figure out or come up with. Your spirit will handle all of that. But raising your vibration will better attune you to be able to get what you need whenever you want it. You'll receive clarity about what it is that you truly desire to experience. And keep in mind, nothing is too big or too expensive or too far out in time. Like, it's all accessible whenever you ask for it. So let's talk about each individual aspect. And I like to think of this as relating to a vehicle, a car. So go with me here. So first we have the spiritual aspect, right? This is the driver of the car. Your spirit is what animates your being. So the car, your being, is driven by your spirit with the heart as the GPS. So like I've said, our original state of being, our true nature, is love. So if we are operating from a heart-centered standpoint, everything in our world will match that. And the spiritual is autonomous from the rest of our beings. So if your spirit is not in the lead, what you get is what you see, which is all of the nonsense and the discord that's so prevalent within our societies. You have a bunch of low vibrational mess going on, like depression, hate, greed, abuse, war, and people generally just taking advantage of one another. So our job is to work on allowing our spiritual aspect to lead. So the way it should go is, after the spiritual has informed the emotional, then the emotional should inform the mental. But because of the split, our mental, in most cases, it dictates what will happen or the reaction that we'll have. And when you're at a high vibration, you can override your mental and emotional aspects from lowering your self-esteem. Remember, no one can make you feel any way. It is all a reflection of what you've got going on with you. So when the spiritual aspect is strong, it is able to kind of outwit the mental, like an intervention, but subconsciously. Your spiritual aspect collaborates with your emotional, and sooner or later the emotional will bring your mental aspect around. So when the spirit is lifted, people go on diets, they eat better, they exercise, they take better care of themselves in general. They love others without judgment, they're more sympathetic about their situations and problems. They will even help others find solutions. When the spirit is leading, the mental is sharp and the emotional is healthy, and any other concerns you might have had just slip by the wayside. You'll even notice that when it comes to making decisions, you don't have to think as much. It's like you just know what to do. It's what people sometimes describe as intuition or like gut feeling, but It's essentially guidance from your soul, your spirit. So spiritual well-being, it provides a sense of purpose, meaning, and connection to something greater than yourself, which guides you through life's challenges. And when you nurture this, whether it's through meditation, reflection, connection with nature, it can bring a sense of peace, balance, and fulfillment. This aligns you with what you truly value, your soul's values, helping you to lead a life of integrity and authenticity. And it helps you connect with your soul so that you can live as who you came here to be. So let's talk about the emotional aspect, and stick with me here with my idea about the car. So the emotional aspect is the interior of your car. It is the color, the texture of the seats. There are the buttons that you push. This aspect of our being desires by design to be near to and in a deeper connection with the spiritual. Emotional well-being enables you to connect with others, to build strong relationships, and to express feelings in a healthy manner. So remember, your feelings dictate where you are. And our soul consists of feelings, emotions, or points of perception that let us know at any given moment where we are in our evolutionary process. So if you're feeling sad, it's because something or someone has disrupted your spirit. And if you're happy, it's due to your spirit being content or pleased. Emotional intelligence is a big takeaway from nurturing your emotional aspect. So really understanding and managing your emotions will help you to navigate social situations and challenges more effectively, which is fostering empathy and self-awareness. And it helps to prevent burnout, reduce anxiety and depression, and maintain a sense of inner peace. So now we're on to the physical aspect. This is the exterior of your car, the body. And like a car, you fuel it, in our case, with food and water. So the physical aspect is pretty much captive to the other aspects of your being, but the physical is where you can see and feel issues going on within. So to prevent disease, to fight viruses, colds, you have to take care of it. We all know this. We don't necessarily prioritize it, or we take it for granted, but it is the foundation for your health. So when you take care of your body through nutrition, exercise, sleep, self-care, it functions more effectively and then supports your ability to engage in the other areas of your life. So a healthy body gives you energy and vitality that you need to pursue whatever goals, activities you want, and to manage stress. So of course you want to improve longevity and enhance the quality of life. So that's what caring for that aspect can do. And now we have the mental aspect. So this is the computer in the car. And if you didn't already know, computers are actually a replica of the brain. So right now, your mental and likely your emotional aspects have been running the show. In fact, many people allow the mental portion of their being to supersede or override the spiritual aspect. Really, there are just a lot of programs that are running subconsciously that don't align with us and our true nature. A low state of mental being lowers your emotional being, which in turn causes your physical being to be lowered, which affects the spiritual. And if your mental aspect is not functioning at a high vibration, it's going to block the tie between your emotional and your spiritual. The mental's first reaction to pain and suffering is a short-term solution. So your spiritual is always going to be a long-term one and the best solution. Your mental and your emotion make decisions in regard to the perceptions of self. Your perception of self is a mixture of your characteristics that are processed by the brain. So some of those include like the academics or non-academics, but gender, sexuality aspects. But maintaining your mental health through learning, mental challenges, and rest, this allows you to think clearly, to solve problems, and make sound decisions. It'll also help you to manage stress and overcome challenges and boost your resilience so that you can cope with difficulties. And continued mental stimulation, whether it's through education or learning new skills, this contributes to personal growth and keeps your mind sharp and engaged. So now let's talk about some ways you can take care of your fourfold being. And this is different for everyone, but the important part is just to experiment. It's all about getting to know yourself and your soul. So I'm going to share a mix of things that work for me. And really, all of these are good for all aspects, but I'm putting them into sections so you can see what it looks like to choose specific habits or practices that are intended for each. So for the spiritual, meditation and prayer. And you're going to hear me say this a lot in these videos. That's how important it is. Meditation and prayer. If you don't already have a practice of this, meditation and prayer, it's time for you to start one. So this is really good for all 4 of your aspects. Then we have exploring spiritual texts or teachings or traditions, whatever resonates with you. But you can get this in books, videos, like on this channel, podcasts, whatever. I'll put a few recommendations below if you need a bit of a jump start. Then we have community gatherings or like spiritual services with like-minded people. You can do volunteering. You can do creative hobbies like painting or music, anything with emotional expression. It taps into that spiritual joy. Or tools like crystals and essential oils. For the emotional, you can try release letters, and there's a link below to a guide to this if you want to know how to do these, but these are very helpful with releasing emotions. We have laughing, journaling, gratitude, spending time with family or friends, therapy, or support groups. Then for the physical, we have exercising, at least 3 times a week. You could do yoga, running, whatever it is. Getting 10,000 steps a day, taking a multivitamin, nutrition, sleep, getting out in nature, salt baths and foot detoxes. Or for mental, you can try games and puzzles, reciting I am statements, using tools like planners or apps to organize your day and help you set goals, or declutter your space, limiting social media or reading books, listening to podcasts, or taking online courses on topics that interest you or challenge you. So if any of you watching this have some other ways that you take care of these aspects, please do comment and share them. I also have a link to a chart below that you can use to create your own Fourfold Being Balance Toolkit. But I hope that you found this video helpful, and I encourage you to look at your self-care practices to make sure that you have a healthy balance for each aspect. But your well-being is so important because it actually helps us all. So we need you at your best. So I love you guys, and thank you for watching.